Only a few years ago, manufacturing on such a scale would have been a production engineer's pipe dream. Today, it's commonplace. But as industry's manufacturing and distribution facilities become more and more sophisticated, the problem of shifting the sheer volume of things from process to process around factories and warehouses becomes more and more complicated. Today, it takes a special kind of expertise to solve high-volume handling problems, and the companies with the experience and ingenuity to provide the answers are few and far between.
Good morning, Davies, Pritchard and Richmond. Yes, he is. One moment, I'll put you through.
Hello, drawing office. Yeah, put him through. Good morning, Vic.
D.P.R. are specialists, a group of companies that designs, manufactures and installs high-quality production and distribution equipment for clients all over the world.
No, we've got a hold on that, but we've made 822. Well, 822 is going to be a bit...
For over 20 years, the group has built up a reputation as leaders in the fields of overhead and floor conveyor systems, electronic control equipment, manufacturing process plant and pressure vessels for the petrochemical industry.
Onto the straight, yeah, about 150 or 100 millimetre.
I think we should go ahead with that, actually.
Right, Joe, what we're thinking of doing here is putting a 2-inch tray...
The problem for DPR designers and engineers is that every project is different, and it takes a wealth of background experience to provide every customer with equipment that will meet their needs exactly.
Layout is there, but not the rear plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've called in today because we've had another inquiry for similar type...
Even before a DPR field engineer gets to know the details of a new project, he already understands what the client will be looking for. Equipment that will do exactly what is needed, that can be installed with the minimum of fuss and disruption, that will perform reliably, and that will justify the money he will spend.
We've had no problems with this particular vessel.
One of the major reasons why DPR has been so successful in meeting these customer requirements over the years is because it believes in a close working relationship with its clients from the word go. From senior production engineer to the chap who will actually be in charge of the system once it's installed.
Positions of the tanks. I see. The two tanks both start just before column line 7.
Planning way ahead is essential, and the group's field engineers are expert at analysing projects down to the last detail to avoid later problems.
Sure. Plan, Alan, column line 12, we just finished past there.
Yes. Is that centre move going to get us out of this civil engineering problem?
Once all the relevant information has been gathered in, the project team can get down to the detailed design work.
Phil, this revamp on Kent 10. I'm afraid all of your equipment has got to go.
Whether it's a simple overhead conveyor that uses one of the standard equipment systems in the company's range, or a complicated project where almost everything has to be designed from scratch, the same care and attention applies.
Drives, Paul.
There's no problem at all with the drives, Matt. I've led 2 drives.
So diverse are each customer's needs that there's always something new to test the ingenuity of the engineers working on the job.
Well, it's a 3 inch, isn't it? Or is it 4 inch?
No, it's 4 inch.
4 inch. We'd have to run it along the floor and, you know, watch out for any tripping hazards or anything.
What about this collector, then?
Like almost everything else, the microchip has revolutionized the systems that control production equipment.
I think when we tried this car...
The group's specialist electronic company, Control, have pioneered the use of programmable controllers, which can manage every intricate operation in a complicated system.
At least it's one problem solved.
It's their know-how that makes feasible the new mechanical ideas that may be needed to provide a client with precisely the system he needs.
As you know, we've had a few snags on the hydraulics on this thing, but...
As well as keeping in close touch with the client's own production engineers, the group's project teams also work hand in hand with its own specialist suppliers.
What was happening, the tilt unit was going over, the clamp unit came down late.
Modern production plant has become so sophisticated that a whole host of technical skills are sometimes needed. Where these fall outside the group's broad range of expertise, the supplier's own engineer will become part of the project team.
Here's the cylinder that we were having the problems with.
And it was basically that holding unit.
When it comes to suppliers, the group's philosophy is simple. As with everything else, only the best will do.
The tilt unit threw itself over.
See, that brought the cylinder into line for the process then?
That's right, yeah.
Bob, 2 questions. Firstly, the mist eliminator. Can we foresee any problems at all fitting to the dish end?
None at all.
Designing equipment to meet the safety legislation of governments around the world and a client's own additional requirements is a major factor in every decision the members of a project team make.
Yes, sir, they just come in.
As well as making all the structural steelwork associated with the group's other projects, Miller's is the company that specializes in the production of all kinds of pressure vessels for many different industries. And safety standards are obviously critical.
We'll have a look at that.
The engineers at Miller's are used to designing and manufacturing vessels to satisfy the most stringent British standards codes that govern their type of work.
Have you checked them all?
I'll carry on and check through the lot.
Oh, that's fine then.
If you want to stay ahead of the competition, research and development is a vital activity in any company. The group's own computer is the key to developing a new generation of control equipment programs to meet the future demands of customers as mechanical handling and production processes become even more sophisticated.
That's fine, Phil. We seem to have overcome the problem of clearance between the trolley arm and the track.
Even the conveyor itself is far from a simple concept that has reached the limits of its potential. DPR engineers are constantly looking at new ways of solving the age-old problem of moving things from one place to another, developing new and flexible systems that can bring the benefits of mechanical handling to applications that were once believed to be unsuitable for conveyor equipment.
Yes, you've got to pick up every time with precision on our brackets, haven't you?
That's true, Bob, yeah.
To turn the ideas of the design teams into reality, the group has invested heavily in its own manufacturing facilities. New factories, the right equipment, and most important of all, the right people. The combination of a highly skilled workforce and good production facilities means that D.P.R. can make and assemble its equipment to the highest possible standards of quality for a lifetime of maximum reliability. Reliability built into equipment at every stage from design to installation. A guarantee of trouble-free production worth paying for. From highly automated engine washing plants to the simplest conveyor, the group's commitment to enhancing its established reputation ensures that nothing leaves the factory until everyone is satisfied. With proper maintenance, which D.P.R. can also provide, systems supplied by the group will provide years of production benefit.
This point up here, like this.
Yeah.
They come down this transfer 300, along these three storage lines.
Equipment installation is another of those activities where problems are best solved long before the job begins. Whether it's a small system for a factory a mile away or a huge project on the other side of the world, D.P.R.'s expert installation division applies the same immaculate organizational skills to get the equipment in and working by the agreed deadline.
23. Takes you down to the trim.
As a result of its unrivaled expertise in designing, making and installing mechanical handling systems, D.P.R. has been entrusted with supplying hundreds of systems to customers large and small all over the world. At this distribution centre of one of Britain's largest retail chains, bulk deliveries of clothes arrive from the manufacturers by road, are taken to be broken down into consignments for individual stores, and then transported straight to the waiting delivery trucks. The concept of the conveyor is simple enough. You carry things from one place where you've finished with them to another place where you need them. Quickly or slowly, up and down, whether they're heavy or light, through processes or not. Yet although it's a simple idea, when a conveyor system is properly dovetailed into existing activities, the production benefits can be enormous. The conveyor can also provide a vital link between one process and another in the high-volume manufacturing and assembly industries. Over the years, D.P.R. have been responsible for supplying major conveyor systems and process plant to some of Europe's largest car and truck makers. With so many separate activities involved in making car components and assembling the various bits and pieces into a finished vehicle, the conveyor is an obvious means of joining many of them into one continuous system. And that is easier said than done. With different operations taking different lengths of time, coordinating conveyor systems to provide a steady flow of material for maximum productivity requires the kind of expertise it takes years to develop. With the added advantage of the latest electronic control systems, the flexibility offered by the conveyor is only limited by what the production engineers actually need. They can be used to provide overhead storage space that releases floor areas for more productive use, feeding the next part of the operation at the appropriate time to guarantee a smooth rate of production. If you have the know-how, the possibilities are almost limitless. The pressures on the post office to sort and distribute millions of individual items within just a few hours every day has forced them to choose the best method of coping with such huge volumes of mail bags. Over the years, D.P.R. has worked closely with the post office engineers to provide the most suitable conveyor system to install, as sorting offices around the country are modernized. The system has become so successful that as well as equipping many sorting offices in the UK, the group have won major contracts against tough international competition to install similar systems for overseas post offices. Routing letters, packets and parcels bound for numerous different destinations requires fairly complicated equipment that can operate with the utmost reliability. Together, D.P.R. and the post office have come up with the answer. With so much experience in mechanical handling, D.P.R. are often asked to devise special equipment to provide solutions to problems which cannot be solved in the normal way. The group's basic understanding of the field in which it works, plus a little ingenuity, are all that's needed to provide the type of equipment to do the job. At the other end of the scale are the supreme examples of efficient automated mechanical handling. Systems that call on all the accumulated skills that the group have to offer. To plan, design and implement such intricate systems is a capability few companies possess. Controlled by one man from a central console, hundreds of separate operations in this car plant are electronically coordinated to supply the assembly lines with the right bodies of the right color and in the right sequence to match the production schedules. D.P.R. are the specialists. Specialists in all kinds of conveyor systems. Specialists in process plant. Specialists in electronic control systems. Specialists in pressure vessels. Hundreds of individual systems now operating for satisfied clients around the world are proof of the group's ability to keep the manufacturing and distribution industries on the move. Because in the end, a piece of equipment is only as good as the people who designed it, the people who made it, and the people who installed it. But most important of all, the company who staked their reputation on it.
Good morning. Davies, Pritchard and Richmond. Yes, he is. One moment, I'll put you through.